In today's video, I'm going to backtest my exact price action strategy, and I'm going to talk to you guys and talk you through exactly how I trade the markets. The last time I made a video like this, you guys said it was extremely useful because it gave you a lot of insight, and basically I take you to my own thought process and take you through the way I do trade the markets, which is extremely useful. If you're not backtesting or practicing your trading plan or trading style, there's a high chance you're not going to succeed in this industry. I can't stress how important it is to practice. Repetition is key to build confidence, and most importantly, when you're trading live, there's going to be external factors of stress, anxiety, hesitation to take the trades, and if you don't trust your plan or haven't proved that it works, all of these factors are going to double and you're going to end up unprofitable. So it's super important to have the repetition so that you have the confidence to be able to take the trades. Highly recommend you stay to the end of this video to catch all the golden nuggets and tips, and if you're definitely going to find that interesting, consider leaving a like. And on top of that, if you're new to the channel, there's plenty of content on here. I'd appreciate you guys could subscribe. It really does help the channel out, and it also gets that information out to you guys. We do live stream as well during the week, so you can be sure to join for that. Now, down below, you won't regret joining the Discord group. Let's get straight into the video because that's the most important part. We're going to be backtesting 2023, which is very, very interesting because we're going to see how could we have maximized the beginning of 2023, and that's something I like to do and go back and say how could you have been better. Always looking to improve, and that's the goal with trading. So that being said, let's get straight into the video. Treat trading like a sport. If you're going to play a sport, you don't go and play a match before you have practice. Practice is a huge part of that. Similar thing for trading. Keep it simple and make sure you practice. So I'm going to take you through basically London session here, starting on the 6th of February 2023 here. Going to use a 5 lot. I think it's risking like 5% of the account. And yeah, let's get straight to it first. All right, so we're going to start here on Tuesday. This is Tuesday. And we're going to do the analysis first as always. Monday had a gap, so I didn't really want to trade that day. That's why I'm starting on Tuesday. We will see that in the charts. And yeah, we formed a weekly support here. We had a weekly resistance here. Pretty simple weekly support and resistance that we need to mark up. If we're looking on the daily time frame here, we can move this towards the top of the range here. No issues like that. And this daily support is also the gap here and also a 4-hour support. So we can mark that up as a 4-hour support down here. That's quite far away. Might as well just mark this one here first. That's the most relevant. This is, if we start breaking this, then I only have to worry about that, right? If we go down to the 1-hour time frame, we can see how that becomes a lot more relevant now, and we can start to mark out our zones. So let's have a look. Daily time frame, close bullish. 4-hour time frame is closing 2 candles bearish here, so the session is more bearish than bullish. So London said, but based on the daily also closing bullish and this gap here, I think if we start closing below this support, we could potentially look for sells here. But I'm also populating that if we create support, we can go back to retest the highs here. Starts heading down here. I'm not interested in sells just yet. I rather see a resistance form to take sells. It's too early to take sell. But as we break through this zone here, there's also now an option for sell, but I'm not going to sell at the break of the lows here. I have to wait for pullback to respect this. Now I can look to retest the lows here. So see what 5 minutes doing at the moment. See what information we have here. And we can start to look to try get some entries here. So yeah, 5-minute close bearish here. 15 minutes also close bearish. Still hard to sell at the moment now. I need some sort of better, yeah, this is an interesting close here, interesting spot. What's our range to the bottom of the range here? If we count this, it's a 29 pip range. 5 minute at the same time is breaking down here. We have this, what's our stop loss? Stop loss 37 pips, quite a big stop loss, but anything closing back into the range might be an option to protect our trade. Yeah, let's see how this candle opens up here. If we can get a nice top wick and then this flips and break its own low, then I think we can hold this trade here. And we can try to take this on this closure here. Now that we've broken below every wick here, it is a bit extended. I do agree. But if we're going to find a way in, I think that there's a lot of momentum here. I don't see a reason why this can't, you know, allow me to take an entry here. This starts to flip now nicely. Yeah, so once that re-breaks its low, stop loss gonna go above the candle here. somewhere around here, and TP is going to be here. Yeah, that should be good. So we'll see if we get triggered or not. You always want to allow the candle to make a top wick like this. Keeps you safe in the trade and keeps us away from getting triggered too early. You know, this candle now closes in 5 minutes. Nothing changes. Even if this candle closes bullish, my trade is still going to be the same. I will still look for sells at the break of the low, but yeah, that's breaking the high now. Basically coming, we never got triggered into this trade. And yeah, now we have to wait for resistance to form. So I'm going to delete the sell stop here. And now we wait for some form of resistance to form, and then we can look to continue to take sells. Alright, so resistance is formed here. Basically the same entry as last time. Probably going to take a sell right off the rip here like this. Stop loss is going to go in the same place here. Pretty big stop. But target's going to be the same here. Basically almost a 1-to-1. But any 15-minute candle closing back in the range, I'll just manage the trade here and close at a small loss. So we'll see how this trade ends up playing out. Already holding some drawdown. Not the best, but nothing is telling me that the trade is invalid yet. 30-minute close bearish here. 1 hour also almost broke the lows. I should have probably waited for the break of the lows, looking back at that trade. But I didn't want it to just flip and go here, right? So yeah, holding some good drawdown here. All part of the game. Have to trust your stop loss. Skip by 1 minute candles just so you're not watching a really long video here. Alright, so this candle's closed kind of bullish. I needed to break these lows here. Yeah, so we've broken the lows. We're back in profit after holding some heavy drawdown. As I said, anything closing really strongly bullish back in the zone, I'll cut the trade. I don't like that there's no top wick. So if this pulls down here now flips and make a top wick, I'm just going to actually cut the trade. That's the way I'm going to plan this. But for now, everything looks okay. Yeah, I don't like the way it's flipping like this. Let's see. I'm going to start to manage on lower time frames. This candle closes here in 1 minute. Has to close bearish, otherwise I don't like this. Yeah, that's fine. Happy with that closure. Anything closing back inside the range, I'm just going to cut the trade short. So yeah, the first thing I've noticed trading now in these months is the trades make you test a lot of your patience, trust your structure a lot, and you can see the move is taking ages to play out. We're not getting a nice volume candle popping to the bottom of the range, but it's still playing out quite nicely here, right? So let's see where we are on the chart. We're tapping into this wick here, 15-minute, 30-minute also close. I do think we can start to head down a little bit further. This is also the 1 hour close. 1 hour didn't really close with such a bottom wick. I think I will have to hold some drawdown here before we get the flip. But yeah, let's see. I'm gonna hold the trade because I trust my analysis. Stop loss I'm gonna modify a little bit here, and I'm going to move my stop loss basically just somewhere here, just in case we get some random move. Drastically reduce my risk, but I'm not going to break even because this is the top wick of the hourly candle, and I'm not going to break even. Taps my break even, and then the trade plays out. So I'm going to skip some candles here so that we can speed this up. So messing around, yeah, now we break the lows here. This should just continue towards my TP, and yeah, not too happy with that rejection, but it's still okay. It's messing around in this zone. Yeah, since it's messing around like this, I'm just happy to pretty much close here. So we're closing for 638 profit. We risked around the same on this, and yeah, I'm just gonna close right there, and that's the trade done. So trade ended up playing out, idea played out, and I noticed that it makes you have a lot of patience, put you in drawdown, took some time, messed about, opened no bottom wick. So yeah, that's the first trade, but nice to end on a positive. And the notes I'm taking is that to maximize these moves, we really have to be patient in the beginning. Last year, you'd get a lot more impulsive move. But yeah, 6% on the account. Nice, easy trade. And the idea did play out. Did we hit full TP eventually? Yeah, we would have hit full TP eventually. And yeah, let's move on to the next day. All right, now I'm going to speed up a little bit. Now we move to the next day. Since we talked a lot about the first trade, now I'm going to do more repetition and show you guys. But what's important in backtesting is to actually play the trades. Don't just skip candles so you don't feel the emotion. No, really make it seem like, okay, what will you do in this spot? You know, it's a tough spot. How am I going to manage the trade? What am I feeling? What do you think you'll do in real life? That's the best way to get the repetition in and to make sure that this is realistic as possible. So this ended up being a no trade day. There was no trades after that quick move after London session. Now what's very interesting is that we had an option where we didn't close above but broke the highs. 5 minute as well closed above. So that's maybe what I can implement going into tomorrow now that I've seen that happen and we've had volume come at 8 a.m. So I'm going to skip to tomorrow. It's a no trade day and I'm going to have a look what that presents me. All right, so I skipped after tomorrow because it was some sort of holiday. You can see the wicks here. Look at this wick, not trading after something like that. So yeah, we're at 4-hour resistance. Today is a news day as well. Since we have basically two 4-hour candles closing bearish, there is the opportunity for sells here, but it is a news day. So I do remember that, you know, there is an opportunity to trade news, and I do remember what happened in this news. Price did end up going down, but what I do want to practice is how am I supposed to get in the move after news has happened. So let's skip to news. News, I believe, happened at here 7:30. So this was the news move here. I'm not trading news move. I'm not gambling on news. But now that the news candle has closed, right, I can wait for the next candle to close. So that's the next candle on news, 7:45 candle. And this is the candle now I can look to try trade here, right? So in order for me to find an entry here, we're obviously having bearish momentum. I need to see, okay, you need to drop down to lower time frames. Yeah, already we've had this structure form. So if we can break this low here, there's no reason why we can't continue down and continue this move to fill the wick. The wick, just understand that just this wick is 24 pips, right? Our stop loss is going to be around 30 pips here, but the idea is to fill the wick and potentially continue. Since it's news, I would have reduced risk. So let's say a 3 lot here. If I would have gone with a 3 lot, let's see how this would have opened up. I would probably want a top wick first. If no top wick, I wouldn't have entered. So yeah, that gave me a small top wick. Yeah, there we go. That's perfect actually. After ranging for so long, finally got some volume, made a low price, rejected here once, rejected twice and 3 times. I do trust this zone. I trust the structure on lower time frame and trust that at least we can get the wick fill here. Reduce risk because it's new. So if you lose, we're not losing all the profits we just made, and any positive is okay. That's a top way. As soon as I flip, yeah, I'm in. So I got slipped a little bit here. Stop loss is going to be up here. Target is down here, and I'm just going to close at that. Yeah, a little bit of slip, but you can expect that to happen. I'm not too worried now. If anything, if this 5-minute closes back in the range, I'm just closing the trade. I'm just closing the trade. If it closes in the range and breaks the high, I'm not messing with news. I'm hoping just to hit this wick and get a small wick fill here and TP hit. Looks like we're going, I'm going to go straight to break even now. No point of letting this be a losing trade after we've had such a push. We're floating around 1-to-1 profit. Now we're risk free. We'll see if we get TP or not. One mistake is I always close a little bit early before TP. My wick is TP. Is it going to hit it? Come on. Okay, we're out. Done. All right, so we got more than the TP, but yeah, that was the trade. That was my idea. And now we're another 5% up on the account. 4% counts up by, you know, almost 10% at the moment. So that's nice to see. Of course, we're risking higher percentage, so that's going to be like that. But yeah, that's basically that. Simple trade, and I'm only taking one trade today as I wanted to trade news. I'll be interested to see how this ended up playing out. Yeah, okay. If I held that, maybe it would have been pretty cool. Yeah, definitely got a very nice move afterwards, but again, I can't trade based on I wish I held and stuff like that. My job is to take a piece of the market and move on, and the only way I could do that is in order to target what I already know that there is in the market. So I knew that there was structure here that gave me stop loss. I knew we closed below structure. I knew we had a target of the wick, and that's the only thing I can do. Holding below there is kind of like gambling and wishing that you get more, especially with news. If it was a normal day, I might as well hold it to the next structure, right? Because I know that the next place it's going to reject is down here or one of these supports, because that's my target. But with news, I'm just using volume. So that being said, let's get to the next day and see if we can catch another trade here. So new week here, daily's open bullish, and we are at the top of the range again, right? 4-hour top of the range. This is the worst place you want to buy. I'm not buying at the top of the range. Very simple analysis today. If I'm going to buy, we have to break out the range or pullbacks to retest the high that's created. Buying at the top of the range is a no-go. So I'm waiting for this. Yeah, now we've got to close above. I like this. This is also after London Open. I need to see a nice pullback here. Yeah, nice pullback. I need the bottom wick on this and then break the high. And I can probably take a trade to target this resistance and potentially continue. So the target this resistance 9-10 pips and then 30 pips to the main target. Gonna mark this main target up here. Yeah, so I'm gonna clone that now and let's see how this candle opens and see if we get a trade. We're gonna put back our risk now to, again, 5 lot. And yeah, let's go. Let's see. Yeah, I like this bottom wick. This is what we want to see. In order for me to prove that it wants to leave this zone, it has to break the high after retesting the 4-hour resistance, which is the line. So mouse is ready on the button. Gonna skip some candles so you guys not waiting. Yeah, so I'm just gonna leave a buy stop here so we're not waiting. Stop loss is actually gonna be back inside this range here because I want this can easily come back, retest the top of the range and then continue up. Target's gonna be max targets all the way up here. Yeah, something like that as a stop loss. Yeah, that basically looks good here. But really my real stop loss is here, but I'm just giving myself a bit of room, knowing that if it does break and close, I'll just close the trade. This is like my get out of close, like a hard stop in case some news comes in the market, but my real stop loss is below the low here. That's where I'm watching. But when you're trading in the charts and you're actually in front of the screen, you can close the trade at any time. There's no one time where you can't close the trade. So your stop loss is just a place where you have to 100% be out, right? In case some news or whatever big random candle comes, you want to be out. My entry is still going to remain the same. This is still closing above the 4-hour resistance. Nothing's really changed here. I'm happy to see this hopefully flip, break the high, and I'll still be in the same position here. So we're trying to flip here. About to get triggered. All right, we're triggered into the trade. Now let's see what happens. I like that we've closed here. I don't like this rejection after breaking the high. Would have wanted to see a bit bigger push. Break the high with confidence, but it's okay. Now that we have this, anything closing back below the 4-hour resistance, I can manage the trade and potentially just close half because we're trading at 4-hour resistance. It's like the worst place to be taking buys. But after seeing support above, if we're going to continue up, we're going to continue up. You know, it reduces probabilities here. But again, if everything's in our favor, if we're going to go up, we're going to go up. Still respecting 4-hour resistance. I don't have any issues with this yet. Going to skip some candles so we're not waiting. And I'll tell you if I spot any issues yet. Right, no issues. I like this close here. As you can see, we respecting created support above the 4-hour resistance. This is why I always say wait for support above 4-hour resistance when you're trading above there, not just taking the first breakout. So we waited for that bottom wick came. We wanted the break of the highs. Entry was always the same. At the moment, anything closing below this support here, I'm going to cut the trade. So if something closes below here, I'm going to lose 13 pips instead of losing 25 pips. But if not, it looks like we should be okay to head into some profits here, which looks like on this candle we're doing that. Yeah, this is a good push here. I like it. Let's go. Yes, sir. Very nice. Not very nice. Come on, just make this clean and simple. We want to get on with this video. Come and hit somewhere close to my TP. It's very important that 1-hour resistance, which we're rejecting. So if the 1 minute and lower time frame doesn't start closing above this 1-hour resistance, I'm just going to take profit here. But so far it looks like really the 1-hour time frame is going to be the time frame which we need to close above, which does close above here in 20 minutes. So there's so much time for price to decide what it wants to do. Not nice. Come on. Okay, tap break even. 15-minute also has closed bearish here. After tapping my break even, yeah, I'm going break even now. Yeah, so I'm going to make this a risk-free trade after it's come back, rejected my break-even. No point of losing this trade. But again, I told you I want to practice just holding the trade to the TP. And here we go. Here we go. Will the idea play out? Come on. So yeah, now we broke the high. This should be good to continue up. TP is at the top of the range here. Oh, that's a big push. When it pushes that far, I'm just going to close out here. Where's close? Yeah, come on, a little bit more. A little bit more. Yeah, it's struggling. Yeah, I'm just going to close there. Yeah, that's a good trade. That was a nice trade. Close a little bit short of TP when I normally see this push and we push back up quite aggressively. We also have at this time in 5 minutes the 1 hour close here. You can expect a pullback on the 1 hour close as well. So I think it was just a good idea to close around at this zone. Let's see how this would have ended up playing, if it would have gone past my TP or not. Yeah, it would have. That's a very, very nice move. We would have actually had another chance to find another entry. Look at that. That's a very nice setup on the 30-minute. Close above, created support. Boom! Towards the upside. Yeah, that's a clean trade towards the upside. That would have been good, but that's around New York. Had to hold this trade for about 2 hours. So, long trade to hold. Probably going to cover one more trade and then call it. Okay, now daily's closing bullish here. I'm going to mark this resistance here on the daily, which the wick has tapped. 4 hour on the other hand has also closed at resistance here. 1 hour time frame is trending down, but 4 hours I'm more bearish here because of the 4 hours closing bearish, so my session becomes bearish. But I will be a mixed session because of the big bullish candle we've had. So if we start closing above this particular resistance here, I do think we can have an opportunity for buys here. The reason for that is that I don't want to be buying into this support down here, rather buy above when we change structure and target the highs. So see how that ends up, what ends up happening. Does that make sense on the 15? Yes, it does. Sells, of course. If we're going to continue the move, I can't sell in all of this rejection. I probably need a strong closure below this zone here. So wow, that's a big candle there. Didn't close above the resistance yet. Rejecting the okay, now we have a close above the resistance. This is a slight problem, but 30-minute did close above. So yeah, I think this could be a trade here, to be honest, because we're going to base it off the 30-minute. Makes sense on the 30-minute. Stop loss is 20 pips for a 30 pip target. Looks pretty good. And we need a bottom wick. Hopefully bottom wick comes. Okay, I kind of missed my entry. Am I late? Come on, give me a small. Come on, come down. Okay, I'm taking an entry now. And we go. So got the entry I wanted. And yeah, anything closing back in the range, I'll just cut the trade for a minor loss. But we're up on the account, so we can afford a minor loss. 1 hour looks good. Yeah, this shouldn't have any issues right here. I don't see any issues as to why this shouldn't play out. Have this wick to fill here first. Potentially target the high of the range. 30 minutes into London Open. Volume time. 15-minute looks good. Yes, I like this. Now we come up to this small resistance here. Since we don't, if we look at 5 minute, there's no structure on 5 minute. So I can't move to break even at the moment because this can easily come to my entry to create structure and my trade is still right. So really all of these rejections up here is probably where I'll move break even. But at the moment, there's nothing that allows me to move to break even because this is, my trade can come back to break even and nothing has changed, right? Nothing has changed in the trade. And yeah, now we're just pushing nicely. How many pips are we up? Yeah, so we're up 13 pips here. We're about 300 bucks up here. There's no point of losing this trade. So if this candle ends up flipping, I'm going break even after it's making its bottom wick here, because you don't expect it to make it this deep bottom wick, flip again, then come back and stop you out, and you were up like $400 just to lose $400. Yeah, so now I'm break even at this point. That's a nice flip as well with nice volume. We're up $500 here. My TP is the end of the screen. My idea is to get up to the 1 hour resistance, and the 1 hour resistance is right there. So let's see if we will get up to that. I normally close a little bit before, but that's my plan, and I'm gonna discipline myself to hold straight to my targets because this was enough. We risked only a little bit in this trade, around $400, and I was up 500. And yeah, especially in February, I noticed that there's a lot of moves that end up failing a lot before, but I want to just see if this ends up eventually playing out to my target, because I don't like being up $550 and now back down to like 300 at some point. It's like you're losing $200 essentially when you can just get on with your day and you're done this trade in 15 minutes. But then you also miss out on the moves like this, which is why I'm practicing to see how long can I hold it. Boom, and we hit target. So trust my analysis more is the lesson for me as well, to trust my analysis more. And I think that's a problem I made, is when I increased my risk in trading. When I increased my risk, I started to make a lot more money with minimal amount of pips, and I was happy with that. When in reality, I could just let them hit my full TP and make even more Yeah, we took 4 trades, right? 4 trades, so 4 for 4. Happy with that. A very successful backtesting session. I was going to close here, so I'm happy to hold that to target. What ended up happening? Okay, and it rejected at this resistance, so that's nice to see. That's nice to see. And then you get the close above, and now we go for a rocket ride straight to space. And I could have finished my month if I held this trade, but that's always the same case with trading, right? Is if you held it, if you closed, if you did this, if you did that, it would have been a lot better, only if. And that's always going to be like that. So focus on what's in your control, and yeah, let the rest fall into place, right? So focus what's in your control and just do your job. My job was to get to point A to point B, follow these LTAs. I did my job, and it allowed me to be profitable. That's the main thing. So hope you guys found this video very, very useful. I have a lot of editing to do because I have to cut this video down, and I want to make it not too boring and long. So I'm going to cut a lot of it and make it short and sweet. So with that being said, take care, guys. Trade sharp, and until next time, peace.